Hi, all of the students. So, the student who are watching my video, I'm going to teach the Unit 3 of Class 10 Energy. So, welcome to all the students in my class. Hope all of you will enjoy the sessions. So, in this class today, I'm going to teach you about the introduction of the energy, sources of the energy, non-renewable energy, and their demerits, disadvantage of the non-renewable energy, as well as the I will introduce the short introduction about the alternative sources of the energy, and its one basic type, that is biofuel. I'm going to explain you about the biofuel also in this topic. Uh, so today's sessions start from here. In our day-to-day life, all the people do the certain types of the work, and in their day-to-day life, the work is done by the energy. So we are hearing about the lots of things about the energy. So what really is the energy? So energy is the capacity of a body to do a certain types of the work. This is the energy, and we will discuss about the sources of the energy, not the types of the energy. We have been reading about the types of the energies in our lower classes. We know the different types of the energy: kinetic energy, potential energy, mechanical energy. All of these types of the energy we have been learning from the lower classes. So in our classes, in our today's class, we will discuss about only the sources of the energy. And there are two types of the sources of the energy. They are renewable energy and the non-renewable energy. So talking about the renewable energy, I'm going to just introduce the short topic about the non-renewable energy. The energy which can be renewed again and again, and which will not be exhausted from the overuse from this earth, are the renewable energy. So for examples, water of the river, oceans, so forest, trees, all of these are the renewable energy. We can get them again and again if we renew them. And the non-renewable energies, this is the main topic of our today's class. So non-renewable energy means the sources of the energy which get exhausted. Exhausted means which gets depleted or completely finished after their use and cannot be used again and again, are called as the non-renewable energies. So these sources cannot be renewed in the earth. So if they once completed or depleted from this earth, so it takes the millions of the years to form them again. These are the non-renewable sources of the energy. So use pattern of the sources of the energy in the present world, modern day world. So many equipments, machineries, and the different means of transportation like car, buses, trains, everything which we see in the surroundings, in our nations, in the other nations also, which are being used nowadays from the past times, they are generally run and operated by the non-renewable sources of the energy. So non-renewable sources of the energy means examples are petrol, diesel, kerosene, and coal, etc. These types of the fuels are used to run these types of the equipments, transportation vehicles. So in the present scenario of the global use, still the non-renewable energy are used more than the renewable sources of the energy. So why the non-renewable sources of the energies are being used in the excessive amount? So the reasons are easy to extract or harness. To use these types of the non-renewable energy, petrol, diesel, coal, kerosene, they are easy to mine and they are easy to use. This is the reasons. So they provide the efficient amount of the energy in their less use also. So this is the next reasons to use the reasons for the non-renewable sources of the energy. And the next reason to use in the excessive amount of the non-renewable energy is they usually do not cause the large types of the human threats. For example, the hydroelectricity. So if accidentally the hydroelectricity may cause the electrocuted to the human beings and they may die immediately. These types of the human threats usually do not occur in the use of the non-renewable sources of the energy. That's why the peoples try to tend to use the sources of this non-renewable energy. So they are also easily available. That's why these reasons makes the use of the non-renewable energy sources of the energy in a large quantity in all over the world. So demerits of the non-renewable energy, we are using in the large quantity. They are useful also. They are easily available also. We have discussed already about that. So but they have the large number of the disadvantage. We will discuss about the disadvantage of the non-renewable energy now. So they causes the lots of the pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, land pollution, water pollution. All of these types of the pollutions are caused by the different types of the smokes, chemicals expelled from the non-renewable sources of the energy. So they are the threats for the clean environment. So you can see here, this is the industry which is producing a large amount of the smoke. So this smoke will mix with the atmosphere, clean air, and this will pollute our atmosphere. This is the bad effect of the using of the non-renewable sources of the energy. So the person will be infected or affected by the different types of the respiratory diseases, okay, which is related with the lungs. So this is the person who is suffering from the asthma, regular coughing, continuous coughing. So these types of the disease may be occurred in the person who are exposed to the large quantity or the large amount of the non-renewable sources of the energy in their waste. That waste is chemicals or the smoke. So they causes the different disease in the human health. For example, asthma, lung cancer. Okay, it may affect your lung also. The lung cancer may be seen in the person who is exposed in the non-renewable sources of the energies. So eye disease also, you can see clearly the pictures of the person who is infected by the disease or the problems which is seen in the eyes. So brain related complications, depressions, complications may be seen in the brain of the human beings. Yeah. Repeat it. So they causes the different types of the disease in the human health. For example, asthma, lung cancer, eye disease, different brain related complications. These types of the things can be seen in the person who are long exposed to the sources of the non-renewable energy. So this is the brain. Okay, a person may be infected by the different types of the brain problems by the exposures of the non-renewable sources of the energy. So now alternative sources of the energy, we will discuss about this today. So the energy sources which are used in the place of the non-renewable sources of the energies are also called the conventional or the traditional way of using the energy from the past time. So they are called the conventional sources of the energies also. And the alternative sources of the energy means the energies or the sources of the energy which we use in the place of the non-renewable sources of the energy. So needs of the use of the alternative sources of the energy or the advantage of the using the alternative sources of the energy. They are pollution free. As we know that the non-renewable sources of the energy may cause the different types of the pollution, air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. So these alternative sources of the energy, if we use these types of the energy, there will be no pollutions. They are pollution free. They are renewable sources of the energy, alternative sources of the energy. They are renewable. Renewable means we can reuse them again and again. If their source is depleted, we can replace them. So this is the next advantage of the alternative sources of energy. Less hazardous for the human health. They will not cause the different types of the disease in the human body. Is like the non-renewable sources of the energy. That's why they are very beneficial to the human health also. So there are different types of the alternative sources of the energy. We are not going to discuss all of them in the today's class. Solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, nuclear energy. These are the examples of the alternative sources of the energy. But in the class, in our today's class, we are going to discuss about the only one type of the alternative source of energy, and that is biofuel. So biofuel, the fuel which is obtained from the different parts of the plants and the animal dung is called as the biofuel. That means the energy or the fuel which is obtained from the living beings, plants and the animals. That is the biofuel. So in the biofuel, the plants, products of the plants and the waste of the animals are used to prepare them. This fuel is to produce the energy called as the biomass energy. So biomass energy means the energy which is obtained by the harness or which is obtained by the use of the biofuel. That means plants and the animals, by using the plants and the animals. So potentiality of the biofuel in Nepal. Nepal is a developing country. That means we are not in the developed phase. So we have to consume the large amount of the energy which are being imported from the other country. That means we have to spend the lots of the money in the fuel. So if we are directed towards the use of the alternative sources of the energy biofuel, we can have the lots of the benefits in our country. We can save our money, our economy will be stronger. These types of the potentiality of the biofuel in Nepal can be seen. So for example, Nepal is an agricultural country. That means the peoples in our country are involved in the animal husbandry as well as the farming, agricultural farming. So by the animal husbandry, they can get the excess amount of the animals dungs. So animals dungs can be used in the biofuel, as we have already discussed. So that is the potentiality of the biofuel in Nepal. Next is people who are involved in the farming can produce a lot of the biomass energy if they are well educated and trained about the beneficial use of the alternative source of energy. They can produce the lots of the biomass energy. It can uplift their economic condition also. Okay, if they are poor, they can earn the lots of the money by using the biofuel. So our country can be independent in the energy sources. As I have already told you that our country imports the lots of the amount of the non-renewable sources of the energy, for example, petrol, kerosene, diesel, etc., from the others country in which we have to spend a lot of the money. So if we are depend upon ourselves by producing the biofuel, we can be independent. So these are the benefits of the using of the biofuel in our country. So examples of the biofuel, it is sometimes traditional way of using the living things and the products for the energy productions. That means it is not a modern way. So the people in the past also used to have a beneficial uses of the biofuel. For example, we will see here. So the best example is in the Tarai region, people make the cake from the animal dung and straw from the paddy plant, which can be used as an alternative source of the firewood to cook the food. So in the Tarai region, there is scarcity of the trees. So for cooking the food, there will be no any firewoods. So people are dependent upon the animal dungs, cow dung or the buffalo dung, to use them as a fire cake, which can be used as a fire cake to burn the fire and cook the different types of the food and the other things. So this is a dung cake for the cooking food. They are commonly called as the guitha also. So they are made by the straw from the paddy plants, okay, unused straw from the paddy plants and the dung of the animals. They are dried in the sun and they will eventually become the dung cake, which are used as a biofuel. So they are used for cooking the foods and the other things in the houses. So this is the best examples of the use of the animal dung in our country. It is also a traditional way. So next is the modern way of utilizing animal product as a biofuel are also being set up by the people in the many village area nowadays. For example, let's say biogas or the gobar gas. It is the best examples of the modern way of utilizing the animal waste product, dung, etc. So it is constructed for the large production of the gas, which can be used for cooking and electricity, also for generating the electricity also. This gobar gas is construction. This must be constructed by the well-trained person. So it consists of the methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and the hydrogen sulfide gas. That means the biogas or the gobar gas will produce the methane gas, carbon dioxide gas, hydrogen gas, and the hydrogen sulfide gas. So this is the construction phase of the gobar gas. We can see here. So in the construction phase, the people are using the bricks, cement, sands, and the other things which are found in the locality. It is easy to use. It is easy to construct the biogas. So this is the dome of the gobar gas without any connection. Connection means without the connection of the gas to the kitchen. So this is a whole schematic diagram of the gobar gas. In the mixing chamber, there is the mixing chamber in the picture. You can see clearly here. In the mixing chamber, the lots of the water and the lots of the dung can be mixed there, and their dung will go to the digester chamber or the dome-shaped chamber. In the digester chamber, there it will be the production of the different types of the gases, like I have already told you, methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide gas. They are produced there. They are flammable. Flammable means they can produce the fire from there. So digester chambers, there is the gas holder. Gas holder means the gas will remain there, and if you upon the gas in the kitchen, the gas will start to burn. You can burn from the gas there, and the people can cook the food there. So there is the expansion chamber. Expansion chamber refers to the chamber in where the excessive amount of the dung in the water will float there. So from the expansion chamber, the overflow will happen, and the overflow means excessive use of the dungs in the water will be mixed as a fertilizers. It will become a complete fertilizer. So it will be collected in the feet or the holes which are dig in the soil. So they are collected there. So the collected dung and the water can be used as a agricultural fertilizers. So they are very beneficial for the plants also. It is the schematic representation of the gobar gas. So this is the collection of the digestate or the decomposed dung. That is the excessive dung can be collected in the other parts of the soil, or we can dig the hole there, so they can be collected there. So this collected dung or the decomposed dung can be used as a agricultural fertilizers. So by using this, the plants can have a large amount of the productivity. This is the benefit of the using of the biogas. So advantage of the biogas is they are pollution free. That means they will not cause any types of the pollution in the environment. It does not affect our health also. So it produces the more heat, it generates the more heat. It is cheaper, and once setup is done, it can be used for a longer period of the time. They are reliable. So these are the advantages of the biogas. So only this much. I am going to stop my class today. Thank you everyone.